You're watching GTV, and now it's time to get some fresh air for this morning on GTV. And here's today's Children's GTV with your guest presenter, George Brind. That's in a different setting, of course. Right, over to you, Mr. Brind.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Children's GTV. My name is George Brind, and I will be your presenter. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a different setting today. We're outdoors. Reason being is because it's a nice sunny day. But we've still got the same old classic programs coming your way this morning. And we are going to kick things off with Bodger and Badger, in which Mr. Trough is going to try employing a robot. Well, Simon Bodger certainly managed to keep his job at Trough's Nosharama in the end. And now our next programme here on Children's GTV is another classic. We've got Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. And today, Thomas might have a little bit of trouble with his guard. Well, we all make mistakes sometimes. And so our next programme is Postman Pat, in which he is going to have a little bit of trouble in Greendale today because, unlike here, things seem rather foggy.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Boom, 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 dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, boom, boom, rum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, boom.
Well, Greendale seemed to certainly brighten up after all that fog in the end. And so our next programme is going to be Noddy's Toyland Adventures. And Noddy has to encounter two certain naughty goblins.
Noddy, the little man with the red and yellow car. Noddy, his tinkling bell means he's the happiest little fellow in all Toyland. Oh, brains for Noddy, Noddy, Noddy.
It is said that the warm weather can be one of the causes of fires, and this might almost certainly be the case in our next programme, Fireman Sam, in which the Pontypandy Fire Brigade have to deal with a barn fire. Pontypandy Fire Brigade almost certainly managed to sort out that barn fire in the end. It was difficult, but they did manage to sort it, as they always do with fires. And so our next programme now features those two catastrophe-prone brothers from Rotherham. This is, of course, Chuckle Vision, in which they are going to be having problems with hotel hostility.
Hey, Paul, it's windy today.
And so our next programme now is the Sooty Show, in which for the first time ever, Sooty and his friends are going to encounter little cousin Scampy.
Scampy the bear is his name. Bye-bye, everybody. See you again soon. Bye-bye. Right, who wants bear? It's always been naughty. He doesn't seem to care if he ever gets caught. He's standing right there. Scampy the bear is his name. Standing right there. Scampy the bear is his name.
And now it is time for something a little more cold. We are going to the North Pole, in which Pingu has to undertake some music lessons. It might actually be the Antarctic that he lives, actually, but either way, this is Pingu. And now, our next programme features those two lovable ragdolls themselves, Rosie and Jim. And they, and their narrowboat driver John Conliffe, are going on a journey through a tunnel.
Jim! Rosie!
Rosie and Jim, chugging along on the old ragdoll. Rosie and Jim, and John he steers the boat. We go to play and have a look
with Rosie's bag,
Jim's drawing book. The world drifts by the window frame, and Rosie and Jim we play our games. Rosie and Jim, finding stories every day. Rosie and Jim, and John he writes them down.
Hello, I'm John. You saw me steering the boat earlier on, but that's not my real work. My real work is... the end.
Speaking of Ragdoll Productions, who made Rosie and Jim, our next programme is Tots TV. question is, will they be going to sleep or will they be staying up? So our next programme now is Gumdrop, in which Mr. Oldcastle and that lovable vintage car go on a trip to London. Let's see how they do that.
Mr. Josiah Oldcastle lived in a small house in the country which...
And that brings us to the end of our programmes here this morning on Children's GTV. We hope you enjoyed them, and be sure to join George Buxton this afternoon, in which he will present you with even more programmes. Will No Hair Bear be joining him? I don't know, only he will. But yeah, my name is George Brind, I've been your presenter, and I hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye everybody, goodbye.